Hello students, so we are going to a next chapter, pressure. The A part of it is pressure in fluids and its transmission. Okay, so we are going to see part 1. I made this chapter into 6 parts. Each part will have very small session so that you will not be bored and you will be watching the session. Short sessions will be helpful to you. Okay, let's get into the topic. We are going to learn the concept of thrust. You know, already I have learnt in 8th standard about thrust. Now, before we learn thrust, we will understand that force can be applied on a surface in any direction. If you are applying force can be applied on a body, on a surface in any direction. But a force which is acting normally on a surface will have a special property. Okay, so that quantity is called as thrust. So there is a difference between force and thrust in the sense thrust means thrust is also force, but it acts normally on a surface. I have drawn a simple diagram. You can understand. Okay, so this thrust exerted by the body will be equal to the weight of the body. So how it is? Let us see with the small diagram. I have drawn a man who is standing on the floor. So how much, what is the thrust applied by the man? So, or we can understand thrust exerted by the man is equal to weight of the man. Okay. So how much ever the man possesses weight, that will be equal to the thrust exerted by the man. Now I have drawn two simple diagrams. A small boy of 10 kg is standing. Next to him, a man of 60 kg is standing. So who will apply more thrust? Automatically you know that the man who is weighing 60 kg will put more thrust or thrust on the surface. So now you will understand that thrust exerted by the man or by the body is equal to the weight of the body. So again you will understand that thrust is a vector quantity because the force is acting vertically downwards and it is making a perpendicular direction on the surface of the earth. So absolutely it is a vector quantity. Okay. Now let us discuss about unit of thrust. It is measured in terms of force. Thrust is also measured in terms of force. Therefore, whatever unit you have for force, the same unit will be for thrust also. So, the SI unit of force is Newton. Same way here, SI unit of thrust is Newton. CGS unit is dyne. Already you have learnt all these things. And what is the relation between Newton and dyne? 1 Newton is equal to 10 to the power of 5 dyne. Now, how this has come? This already I taught in 8th standard. Once again, I will teach. So, you know the formula. Either you have learned W is equal to mg. W means again it is nothing but the gravitational force here in this case. So we can take it as F. F is equal to m into g. M, if you write it in SI unit, it is kg, then meter per second square. So what is 1 kg is 1000 gram and 1 meter is 100 centimeter square. Together it is 10 to the power of 5 gram centimeter per second square, which is also called as dyne. This you have learned in previous year. Once again I am recollecting. Okay. So what is the relation between Newton and dyne? So it's a standard 1 mark question. So 1 Newton is equal to 10 to the power of 5 dyne. Okay. Now let us come back to the next gravitation unit. I know children, the gravitation unit idea you will not get now. You will understand after teaching the topic of gravitation, you will understand. But just you learn the concept unit now. Okay. So gravitation unit of thrust in MKS is kgf and in CGS system it is gf. Okay. But kgf and gf you are aware. Previous year again you have learnt in force chapter. Okay. So do you remember this? 1 kgf is equal to 9.8 Newton. Usually when you are doing mathematical problem, you will take it as 1 kgf is equal to 10 Newton. Now 1 gf is equal to 980 dyne. This also you have learnt. Okay. So today we are only covering the basic idea of thrust and pressure. Later I will keep on going inside the topic. Okay. Now let us come to pressure. This is very interesting. Imagine, I just written for your sake. Okay. Imagine you are standing on the loose sand, on the beach. You are standing on the loose sand. So your feet sinks into the sand, is it not? But at the same time, you just lie down on the sand. So what happens? Your body will not sink into the sand. You would have experienced, just lie down on the sand and fine. So what did you understand from this? When you stand, the thrust acts on the smaller area, and when you lie down, the thrust acts on a larger area. So this is the difference. So how will you define pressure now? So pressure is a thrust per unit area of the surface. pressure is a thrust per unit area of the surface. So we are giving by the formula P is equal to T by A, or thrust by area, which is, for thrust we will have Newton, for area it is meter square. Together Newton per meter square is also called as Pascal. Okay, so pressure is equal to thrust by area, or Newton per meter square is equal to Pascal. Now let us define 1 Pascal. Children, already I have told you, whenever you are learning a formula, immediately your concentration, your focus should be learning 1 unit Pascal, unit value. Okay, so define 1 Pascal, or what is 1 Pascal, or define the SI unit of pressure. This is how they will ask you. Define the, instead of asking define pressure, they will ask you define the SI unit of pressure. So what is that? You know, SI unit of pressure is 1 Pascal. Now based on this formula you can define. So the pressure is said to be 1 Pascal if 1 Newton of force acts on a surface of area 1 meter square normally on it. Normally means in a perpendicular direction. Already you know that, is it not? So SI unit of Pascal, all children, these all are 8 standard portions only. Just I am recollecting. Okay, so I will be going little faster. So SI unit of Pascal is Newton per meter square. CGS unit of Pascal will be dyne per centimeter square. So the relation between 1 Newton per meter square and dyne per centimeter square will be 1 Newton per meter square is equal to 10 dyne per centimeter square. So thus just you learn, no need of derivation, directly you learn the relation. Okay, so we have got an idea about thrust and pressure now. Now we are slowly going into another concept called atmospheric pressure. This also you have learned in 8th standard. So I am very happy that at least you learn these topics in 8th standard. Now it is easy for you to recollect. Okay, you know the concept of atmospheric pressure. Suppose I ask you a question, name a device, or name a device which is used to measure atmospheric pressure, then you will tell barometer. Okay, all of you know that. So the barometer again has a mercury column, just like thermometer. Thermometer is used to measure temperature, barometer is used to measure atmospheric pressure. So it is again filled with mercury column. I am talking about the old type, but the latest aneroid barometer does not use liquid column. It is something, and the digital barometers are entirely different. Let us discuss later. Now we are only learning about the basic barometer. Okay, barometer. So the height of it is filled with mercury column. So the atmospheric pressure is expressed in terms of height of mercury column in the barometer. So the barometric height is basically 0.76 meter of Hg. Always you should write like that. Barometer height, the atmospheric pressure at sea level. What is atmospheric pressure at sea level? The value will be basically, or the standard value will be 0.76 meter of Hg. Hg stands for mercury. Okay. Now let us come back here. So either you can write it, you know very clearly, it can be written as 0.76 meter of Hg. You can convert meter into centimeter. 1 meter is 100 centimeter. Multiply, I have done the calculation here. 0.76 into 100 becomes 76 centimeter of Hg. Or if you want to tell in terms of millimeter, 1 meter is 1000 millimeter. 0.76 meter is equal to 0.76 into 1000, which becomes 760 millimeter of Hg. So did you understand? So any, I think the first one you can learn. But while you are doing numerical problems, solving numerical problems, depending upon the data, you have to do it. So better learn all the three. So what is the value? 1 atmospheric pressure is equal to 0.76 meter of Hg. Why we are saying this? Because the barometer is showing this reading for above the at sea level. Okay. So or it is 76 centimeter of Hg or 760 millimeter of Hg. Okay. Now let us put a summary point here. Okay. So 1 ATM. ATM means atmospheric pressure. 1 atmospheric pressure is equal to 0.76 meter of Hg, which can be expressed in terms of Pascal. This also you have to learn, children. Already I have learned in 8th standard. I hope all of you remember 1.013 into 10 to the power of 5 Pascal. Once again I repeat, 1 atmospheric pressure, 1 ATM is equal to 0.76 meter of Hg, which is equivalent to 1.013 into 10 to the power of 5 Pascal. Okay. Now let us understand. Now we have got a good idea about pressure. Now, what are the factors which will affect the pressure? Anybody will answer this question because you have learned the formula P is equal to, pressure is equal to thrust by area. But in your lower classes, you will learn pressure is equal to force by area. But here, we are confined towards thrust. Therefore, pressure will be depending upon thrust and area. We are going to see two simple examples. Case 1 and case 2. Okay, based on area, I am going to teach now. So, what will happen if the area is increased? What will happen to the pressure? You know very well, just now I gave an example. When you lie down on the beach floor, what happens? The area is more. So as the area increases, pressure decreases. As the area decreases, the pressure increases. Let us see. Now I am having two bricks or two rectangular pieces of wood. One I kept it in the vertical position. The other one I kept it in the horizontal position. Okay. Just the values I written here. And the thrust, the weight of the brick will be the same. Whether you keep in a horizontal position or you keep it in the vertical position, the weight is not going to change. Like if you are standing on the loose sand, your weight is 60 kg. When you are lying down on the beach, again, lying down on the sand, the weight will not change. Okay. So here instead of Newton, I have taken as kgf. You know very clearly, 1 kgf is 10 Newton. If you want to write 4 kgf, or you can write it as 40 Newton, but still I have taken as 4 kgf. So thrust is 4 kgf for this rectangular block, and area will be multiplied, length into breadth 5 into 10, 50 centimeter square. So if you find the pressure, thrust by area 4 by 50, which is equivalent to 0.08 kilogram, kgf centimeter square. Okay, kgf centimeter square. Now let us see this case. Now we have kept the brick or the wooden block on the horizontal position. So automatically the area occupied will be more. Base will be more. So thrust will be same. Area will be 10 into 20. So it becomes 200 centimeter square. So pressure is equal to thrust by area. 4 by 200 will be 0.02 kgf per centimeter square. Got it? Now let us have a comparison. So this is area 50 centimeter square. But the pressure is 0.08 kgf centimeter square. For convenience, I have converted into gf. Okay. 80 gf per centimeter square. And here area is 200 centimeter square. Pressure is 0.02 kgf per centimeter square. Now look at this case. 0.08 kgf centimeter square is greater than 0.02 kgf per centimeter square. So from this, what did you understand? As the area increases, the pressure decreases, and the area decreases, the pressure increases. So this is one of the mathematical example for you to understand. Now let us compare. First I finished area. What are we learning now? What are the factors by which the pressure is depending upon? One is thrust, the other one is area. So area we have completed. Now let us come to thrust. Again, what am I doing? I am having a brick. What is the thrust acting? The weight of that brick is, or the thrust on the brick is 4 kgf. Now what am I doing? I am going to keep one more brick on this. So totally the thrust will be 8 kgf. Okay. But the area occupied is the same. Area, both are kept in the horizontal position only. Both are in horizontal position. But the second case, we are keeping one more brick over that. So area is equal to 200 centimeter square. Now let us calculate the pressure, thrust by area. In the first case, you are getting 0.002 kgf per centimeter square. Then second case, we are getting as 8 by 200, that is 0.04 kgf per centimeter square. So it gets doubled. Okay, the pressure is doubled. So larger the thrust on a given area, greater the pressure. So did you understand? So how will you understand this? So I will just go to the formula. What is that formula we are learning? Sorry children, I am getting the formula here for you. So you see, pressure is equal to thrust by area. So you see, as the pressure increases, thrust is increasing. It is directly proportional because both are in the numerator. But look at area, it is in the denominator. So as the area increases, pressure decreases. So this is what we proved now with two mathematical examples. Now we will come to the last part of this topic. So here, how are you going to increase the pressure? There are ways of increasing pressure and ways of decreasing pressure. Children, see all these things you have learnt in 6th standard, 7th standard and 8th standard. Now this is only a review or a revision class for you. Since the first part should be very simple, I have taken only the simple parts. Okay. So you just listen. So ways of increase, how will you increase the pressure? Suppose a question is asked, how will you increase the pressure? So imagine that you are having two knife or two cutting tools. One is a very sharp one and the other one is a blunt one. So which one you prefer to cut? A cutting tool. So which one you will prefer? You will prefer the sharp tool. Why? Because in how will you explain that? How will it increases the pressure? How will you explain? A small thrust may cause a great pressure. You take that sharp cutting tool and just you are cutting anything, maybe your laser cutting or whatever it is. Even the laser tools are used for cutting glasses, is it not? So the sharp end, small thrust, you are giving a very small thrust, but what it will cause? It will cause a great pressure. That means the whole glass sheet is cut into two pieces. So that is how you will understand that if the area, but the sharp end of the tool, if you see the end of the tool or the laser knife, it will be very, very, very sharp. So the area occupied will be very less, but the thrust will be more. This is how you will increase the pressure. Now, how will you decrease the pressure? See, this is very, very important again. Sometimes, see, in your practical life, sometimes you have to increase the pressure. You want to cut a glass sheet, glass plate, then what will you do? You will use a laser knife. Or if you want to cut a very hard substance, you will use a very sharp tool. But that does not work always. You have to reduce the pressure also sometimes. So mainly in the construction buildings, foundation of buildings, if you see, if you observe, the foundation of buildings are much more wider than the walls. Why it is this? Like that. Why the foundation of the building is more than the walls, wider than the walls. So that is also because pressure exerted by the building on the ground becomes less. If the foundation of the building is more wider than the walls, so what is the impact it causes? The pressure exerted by the building. Of course, the pressure is exerting the building. Completely the thrust acting on the building is acting on the floor. So automatically acting on the foundation. So the pressure exerted by the building on the ground becomes less. So these are the two ways or two methods where you will either increase the pressure or you will decrease the pressure. Okay. So with this we will finish part 1. What we will do is next class we are going to part 2 will be little difficult, in the sense a little deep. This is only the surface. Now I will make you to go inside. Okay. So slowly we will learn. Don't worry children. This topic will be easy only. And all the numerical problems I will try to solve later. Okay. Later we will solve by some method and I will get back to you. Okay children. Thank you. Have a nice day.